Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel once again, and welcome back to System Shock Radio. So, I, as always, got some topics for you guys. Of course, if this is your first episode of System Shock Radio, welcome. If not, welcome back. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So, starting with the first thing we're going to be talking about is that there's been reportedly some changes coming. And, see why? Plug my laptop. Uh, There we go. But there's reportedly been some changes coming to the Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix show, and by that I mean changes from the source material, that being the Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show. The Netflix adaptation is going to be a Netflix TV show adaptation of the original Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show, and there's some changes, and not gonna lie, me and the other fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender are concerned. Like, there are definitely some concerning elements when it comes to that. And uh, uh, when it comes to changes now, like the designs, the character designs are are kind of a mixed bag. They look a lot better than the movie. I'll give it that, um, but as well as the effects. Like, the effects, they're better than the movie, but they are still kind of still a little rough around the edges. But that's not quite the changes I'm talking about, though. That is worth bringing up. But the first change is that apparently Sokka is not going to be as much of a misogynist. It's of course, in the show, Sokka was very much like, obviously the wisecracker, very sarcastic, misogynistic at first, thinking men are superior to women, and until he was humbled by the Kyoshi warriors, but apparently that's gonna be he totally scrapped from the show, or at least toned down, as they say. Hey, now on paper that'd be like, Nigel, why is that a problem? Because Sokka, that was used for character development, and as I mentioned, Sokka was kind of a misogynist, and honestly, misogynist, it might be a little too strong a word. Well, he wasn't like full blown hating women. He wasn't on some like incel ish, um, but he definitely did like walk around with that head superiority, like, oh, men are superior to women, and hey, and people did point out that it does kind of make sense, and due to the war and everything, with the women usually staying back while the men going off to fight in the war, of course, with her side against the Fire Nation, obviously. But the whole purpose of that is that Sokka is humbled by the Kyoshi warriors after, or he has a run in with the Kyoshi warriors, and more specifically Suki, who would become his love interest. Is after, of course, Princess Yue turned into the moon, but he encountered her, pretty much became a Kyoshi warrior, or gained a lot of respect for them, and essentially learned the error of his ways. But by cutting that out and not making it there in the first place, there's no character growth, there's no character development. Like stuff like that is it, maybe he's seen as trying to appease he's the new culture, because obviously that type of behavior is not really okay. But at the same time, I'm you sacrifice the character development. Literally the show. You don't have to take it out for her not being okay from the show, because the show literally said, "Hey, it's not okay," and they said that by having Sokka change his ways. Is after Sokka is after Sokka is essentially, I don't necessarily want to say full on humiliated by the Kyoshi Warriors, but definitely humbled at least. After him being humbled, that's his character development. Now he doesn't view the Kyoshi Warriors or Sugi he like that anymore, or he had his outlook change. But by removing that in the first place, now you have no character growth and no character development, and the character development is one of the biggest things for the Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show. Seeing how the characters evolve, how they grow. We see them one way, and they do maintain some of those personalities, but we see them grow and develop as the show goes on as things progress. So to take that out is very concerning. But the other thing, and I mostly saw this on social media, so I don't know if it's true. Hopefully, it's not true. But apparently, Aang's just gonna have visions of what he has to do next and go towards where they need to go, which totally takes out the journey aspect. Like when it comes to Avatar: The Last Airbender, they definitely adapt the philosophy of the journey is more important than the destination. Obviously, they go to several destinations throughout the show, several different stops ups on their way. We see the journey. We see how the characters interact with each other along the way. We see the trials and tribulations they encounter. They learn more about themselves. We as audience members get to learn more about them. So to take that aspect away, or even minimize it, definitely betrays the show. Oh, and betrays what the show was trying to establish. That being in the journey. Having vision. Sure, I get. Sure, Aang did have some visions from time to time within his avatar state. He, but at the same time, just having those visions, having to rely on them. A lot of people did point out it kind of Aang almost becomes kind of, I don't necessarily want to say Superman, but pretty much almost infallible. I don't know if that's the exact terminology I want to go with, but essentially to where her no growth is there, no sense of him being a kid and wanting adventure and wanting to be up for adventure. No, instead, just vision just funnels him to the next place. That's not how it should be. He think about it. With the original show, it's interesting if Hank just got a vision like, oh, I have a vision. Oh, we have to head to the Northern Water Tribe. I believe it is the Northern Water Tribe. It has been a little bit since I've seen the show. I definitely do want to rewatch the show at some point, and as well as watch The Legend of Korra. But I head to the Northern Water Tribe. I'm getting a vision. Oh, we can't fight Fire Lord Ozai on the day of the eclipse. We have to fight him on the day of Sozin's comet. And apparently also they want to stretch, and the other major change is that they want to stretch it out through the course of a few years. Now this one I kind of get because as each season it's gonna be, I believe it is gonna be like 3 seasons, just like the original show. That being the 3 books, that being water, earth, and fire. But they're wanting to stretch it out because it will take a while to film for the Netflix show. So stretching out for a few years. I do get that, but at the same time, one of the other major aspects of the show was the time crunch aspect. Aang essentially had to master the Avatar state, master all three elements. Aside from air, because he already knew air, of course, he was an airbender, but master all that essentially before the end of the next summer, before before the summer solstice, before Hosen's comet. So he essentially he was on a schedule. He was on a tight schedule. So while there is that sense of adventure and there is that sense of world building, there's also that sense of impending doom that we gotta do this, we gotta do it now. And that also leads to some character development, and such as when Aang tries to hurry up and master firebending. Originally, in the first season, but ends up burning Katara, so he puts it off until the third book, because he's afraid to, because he hurt Katara. Taking that out of the show as well. Like I said, that one I get. Like the other two, I can't really forgive, but that one I kind of get. But at the same time, I don't know. So to say I'm scared that or how the show's gonna turn out is kind of an understatement. But we will see. I guess we will definitely see. Yeah, I imagine because it's so close to wrapping up, at least with the first season, and so it might be a little too late to turn back. But please turn back, or at least consider turning back. But nevertheless, the next thing we're going to talk about is Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. So after so many years, Megamind is finally getting himself a sequel. So, Megamind. And first came out in 2010, and it came out the same year as Despicable Me, and for a lot of people, between Megamind and Despicable Me, the two movies that they should have made a franchise about that would go on to make a lot of money Yeah, a lot of people feel like they chose wrong. Like, look, don't get me wrong. I like Despicable Me. I don't quite like Minions as much, but uh, only because I think it got overplayed where I had to watch it every 10 seconds and they were everywhere, so it did get kind of annoying. But they kind of suffered from that like Phil Collins syndrome where they were everywhere, so people got sick of them. But at the same time, I don't mind Despicable Me. But Megamind, I definitely loved a lot more. Or he did have kind of like a short film, Home the Button of Doom, but now it's getting a full on sequel, that being Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. It pretty much. So essentially, the premise is that at Megamind and now has to fight his former teammate Hates in the Doom Syndicate, which obviously is like a play on like the evil versions of like the Justice League or the Avengers, such as like the Masters of Evil or like I believe it was called the Doom Syndicate in DC canon, or it might have been the Crime Syndicate, it nevertheless, as Megamind and having to assemble a team of heroes goes to battle against them. So looks like we're gonna get hit Megamind and Roxanne Ritchie, a minion, and of course not like the short yellow minion, but the big one with the fish tank and the armor, and then obviously he Megamind's friends and whichever super team he assembles. I imagine Titan might make an appearance, but it's going to come out on March 1st of 2024, so in a couple weeks, and it's going to be he released on Peacock. So it doesn't look like it's getting a theater release. So going the Peacock route with it, not going in theaters, is kind of what they did with Five Nights at Freddy's. Although I think Five Nights at Freddy's also had, I think either Five Nights at Freddy's had the limited theater release or the theater release and the Peacock release came out simultaneously, which is kind of a weird way to do it because why go to the theater and watch it when you could just watch it at home on Peacock? Yeah, but I did hear the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was pretty good, so I definitely might have to check that out at some point. I mean, even though I haven't played the game, but nevertheless, Mega Mind getting a sequel. I am kind of interested. Thankfully, they're not going the influencer route like I saw the rumor was online. Yeah, there was a rumor that Megamind and 2 would feature Megamind trying to become a social media influencer, which it does sound kind of bad. But but it would be kind of funny if they kind of like parodied it and kind of played up to it and actually made it funny. If they tried to go too serious with it and tried to go too straight with it, I think it would be not great. Obviously, of course, nothing against social media influencers, but like yeah, this sequel, interesting premise. I might, I'm like I'm kind of interested to see, and it looks like according to Wiki here, that not only is it a sequel to the original Mega Man movie, I should probably address like for those of you who are like Nigel, well, you keep talking about Mega Man. What the heck is Mega Man? I didn't see it. I may have saw it, but pretty much so. The first movie has it, and I might watch it. I might review it at some point on the channel. In fact, I'm probably going to with the sequel about to come out. Essentially, Megamind is a villain at first. Takes out his arch nemesis Metro Man. He thinks he kills him, or at least he thinks he kills him. Turns out Metro Man is still alive and just retiring as a superhero and everything. Living a secluded life, playing guitar, essentially as Music Man, and no longer Metro Man, but Music Man, and obviously it's supposed to be a play on like Superman versus Lex Luthor and everything. But then Megamind, and at first, it's pretty much causes chaos throughout the city. He gets bored, tries to create a new Metro Man in the form of Titan, but Titan turns out to be evil, more evil than Metro Man, and so Megamind essentially has to become a hero, stop Titan, and essentially become the city's new protector. Or so how will the sequel will shape up? How will it live up to the original? We'll find out as we watch it. I'm sure I might watch it at some point. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, speaking of movies, the next thing we're going to talk about is that we got some news when it comes to Deadpool 3. So for starters, it looks like it's going to be called Deadpool and Wolverine, which it does make sense. Of course, Wolverine in the other major star in the Deadpool in the Deadpool movie. In the third Deadpool movie. But the other thing is that we got the trailer and we got it during the Super Bowl, but now it's on YouTube. Normally, I don't watch movie trailers. Not because they're bad, but for me personally, it's kind of a rule of thumb for me because I want to be as surprised and go in totally blind as possible, also that so that I'm totally surprised and caught off guard, not quite sure what to expect. That's just kind of a personal thing for me. Like obviously the trailers are to get you guys excited for the movie. So I'm not gonna knock it for that. Like if you want to watch movie trailers, that's totally fine. It's just kind of a rule of thumb for me. It's more so just a me thing. But when it came to Deadpool 3, I thought about like a boy and be totally surprised, but I cracked. I had to. Ooh, and the trailer is hilarious. And it looks like some interesting stuff of showing Wolverine, Deadpool now fully being integrated into the MCU, and Deadpool still being his wisecracking self, and quite a bit of blood. And that's when I learned, oh, this is gonna be rated R. So Disney actually went with it. They actually gave Deadpool the R rating. If I'm not mistaken, and please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I can probably look it up real quick. But I think this means that Deadpool, I think this does mean that Deadpool is the first R-rated Disney movie in history. At least Deadpool Wolverine. I'm gonna look up Disney R-rated movies. I don't think Disney has any oh, never mind. Looks like they have a few here. Or so oh looks like oh shoot looks like they have enough. Wait, that was a Disney movie. Wait, I don't know. Okay, so it looks like okay. So it looks like you have a few, although I didn't know these were Disney movies. It's interesting. Okay. So I was wrong. There's been quite a few R-rated Disney movies. I go show what I know, but I guess because Disney doesn't do R-rated movies often, people are wondering, will they give Deadpool the R rating? It looks like they are going to, and it does make sense. Like Deadpool, who before he came out, not many superhero movies. Obviously, there had been like R-rated superhero movies such as like Blade or The Punisher, but not really that often. So for Deadpool to get the R rating was kind of interesting, but they definitely made the most of it, and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and everything, and definitely able to go full force with it. But a lot of people are speculating: could this be the movie to save the MCU? The MCU kind of been on a bit of a downward spiral in a lot of people's eyes, and I've mentioned it before. The reason I haven't really talked about, even though I am obviously interested in Marvel movies and the MCU, is because I'm not fully caught up with the MCU. Who I think once I catch up with the MCU, I can officially put on my doctor's hat and fully diagnose the problem with modern Disney, or at least within the MCU. Modern Disney, modern Disney. That's a whole other ball of wax, but at least with the MCU, I can't fully diagnose it yet, because without me being caught up in the MCU, I'd essentially be committing movie malpractice, if you will. So I can't fully diagnose the problem. Quite a few doctor jokes, but yeah. So I can't fully diagnose that, but a lot of people are speculating: could this be what saves the MCU? Is Deadpool coming to the rescue? We will find out. The movie is slated to be released in June, and so let me get the exact date for you all. Also, July actually. My apologies, Jill. He's July of 2024, July 26th to be exact, of 2024. So, definitely gonna be interesting, and honestly, I might check this out in theaters. Like, I mentioned before, I don't often check out movies in theaters only because it's like watching at home is a lot more convenient for me and a lot less costly. I'd, uh, I only go to the movies. He's if either a I want to like hang out with friends or family or significant other, like going to the movies is perfectly fine for like a day. That's where I went. For my first date with my girlfriend at the time. I'm or her family. He out and about, or I'm out and about with friends. I'm like, hey, you want check out a movie, or yeah, we're looking for something to do. You want to check out a movie? I'm like, sure. Or so. Either that had one time, of course, or it was actually a couple times. The first was when I went to see Black Widow, and the next when we went to see Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. My friend took me to the 4D showing of it, so I can experience the 4D. That's where they have all the effects, such as like the moving chairs and the snow and everything. And I kind of mentioned it briefly, especially when I did my review of Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. It's a while ago. If you haven't already, go check out that review. It's a little old, but hopefully you'll still find it entertaining. But I'll go to it for that. Or if it's a movie I really want to see, like right then and there. Like I went for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I went for her Spider Man and Across the Spider Verse. I wanted to go for the Iron Claw, but sadly I didn't quite make it in time. But I definitely will check that out at some point. Honestly, I'll probably check that out at some point soon because we are wrapping up our Superman movie reviews. In fact, my review of Supergirl is gonna be coming out tomorrow. Oh, and then we just have two more Superman movies within the series. That being the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, and then Superman Returns, and then we're wrapping up, and then obviously we'll do the retrospective and everything. Yeah. Other than that, those are the two main reasons I go. But I might go to the theaters for Deadpool Wolverine. But next up, the next thing we're gonna talk about is that it looks like Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Monet may be on their way to AEW, who especially after the Rumble where neither of them showed. Well, admittedly, and I mentioned this when I reviewed the Rumble. If you haven't already, go check out my review of the Royal Rumble from this year, but I think we might have got our hopes up a little bit about these people, they're not on a contract, or these people are on a contract. Also, these people might show up. And then these people might show up. I think we did get a little ahead of ourselves because Okada and Mercedes Moné, neither of them showed up for the Rumble. So now the belief is that they may be AEW bound. Some people were speculating that had I believe it was Sean Ross Sapp who for a while had been saying that he had gotten some news and reports that Mercedes Moné at least had been AEW bound. Now there's a report coming out that she had been filming content for AEW debut, and AEW's having the show in Boston, and where her Sasha Banks / Mercedes Monet is from, in the TD Garden. And so AEW, not I want AEW Dynamite Boston, the TD Garden, and the official little tagline for it being yeah, I forget. Hey, where's the official title? Yep, AEW Big Business in Boston, Massachusetts. Geez, guys, that's not subtle at all. Excuse me. But I meant to say that's not obvious at all, but obviously it's definitely not subtle because they definitely are at least teasing that we might get an appearance from Mercedes Moné. So her coming into AEW, I think would be really cool. To help bolster the women's division. Which, speaking of which, it looks like Julia Hart is injured, so I wonder what they'll do with the TBS Championship. But Mercedes Moné, pretty big name. It looks like she may be AEW bound. As for Okada, I figure it probably would have came down to either WWE or AEW, who a lot of people would have liked to see him in WWE. But at the same time, he had worked with AW before. Remember, he was at Forbidden Door as he took on Bryan Danielson, and there's other New Japan talent that had jumped ship over to who there, such as Will Ospreay, who's gonna be he taking on Konosuke Takeshita at Revolution. That was learned, and as well as Switchblade Jay White. Right, but yeah, so with them potentially being AEW bound, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what they do in AEW. I can't wait to see what they do in AEW. Will they run back the rivalry between them and Bryan Danielson? That was less of a rivalry, more just like a regular feud, but it did lead to like a dream match, and we definitely did get that dream match. But what will they do? How will they fare in AEW? Hopefully they do well. Hell, hopefully they can help out AEW. Hopefully they get pushed in AEW. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in AEW if they truly are AEW bound. That's kind of a report for now. I guess it's kind of a wait and see thing, but we will see. But the last thing, hey, and something else I mentioned, I forgot, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this when I reviewed NXT Vengeance Day. If you haven't already, go check out that review. The promo that's about the three faces is some people speculate that may have been Okada, but with Okada potentially being AEW bound, it looks like that it may go to someone else. Some people say it might be Bo Dallas in those promos, but we will see on that front. But the last thing that we're going to talk about is purpose. So, what is purpose? How does it relate to us? Of course, as always, we're going to our dictionary, textbook definition, and it has two meanings, one as a noun and then one as a verb. The noun means the reason for which something is done or created, for which something exists. And the verb format is have as one's intention or objective. If so, I truly firmly believe that all of us, each and every one of us are on this earth for a purpose. Like we all are on this earth for something, and we all have something that we need to fulfill within our time here, or on this big, beautiful blue and green planet. We all have something to do. Who I believe we're all equipped for something. We all are meant to be doing something, and what it is, we may not find out for a little while, but but I do feel like we all do have a reason for being here, a reason for being on this planet, a reason why we do what we do, and a reason why we're here. Essentially, I'm not fully sure what my purpose is yet. I kind of have an idea, and that's to not just help people as much as I can, but to entertain people as much as I can. But the thing about purpose is you'll definitely know it, and once you know your purpose, and once you kind of step into your purpose and begin to step into your purpose, it won't leave you alone. Like, even if you try to put it off and ignore it and put it on the back burner, it won't leave you alone. It will latch onto you until you utilize it. Like your purpose will hold on, not like, oh, no, like, use me. Like, this is your purpose. This is what you're supposed to do. Use me. And I don't mean that in like a cosmic sense or anything like that. But I definitely mean like what we're set out on this world to do, what we're supposed to be doing, and definitely it will find us. We'll find it. We'll find it. The purpose and the person, and end up finding each other, and moving with purpose, moving with intent, with what you want to do, who slash need to do slash feel like you are called to do, who when it comes to that, your purpose will come naturally, and that's how you know when you found it. It'll come naturally. It'll almost feel effortless, like it definitely was something you were born to do, and something that something that just rolls off, and something that just comes to you, that you attract, that you work towards. I don't know if this is making any sense, but But yeah, so whichever your purpose is, if you're still trying to find it, if you found it already, find your purpose within this life and work towards it and work at it, and definitely use it, utilize it as much as you can, and during the time here, because life truly is short. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for this episode of System Shock Radio. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments your reaction to anything I talked about in this video. And if you have any top suggestions, please let me know. And of course, follow me on my social medias. Those are linked in the description. I promise I'll try to be active on those. Once again, I have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and those are in the link tree, so go check those out. As well as a Twitch, which I definitely will be returning to as well. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.